Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is MightyHigh, and in this video we are going to make an automatic Melon and Pumpkin farm. So, if you like these kind of videos, Minecraft Let's Plays and tutorials, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so to start off with, we actually need to build the collection system first. So, these are the resources you will need in my hotbar. So we have some stone bricks, some powered rails, some normal rails, some redstone or anything really to power these powered rails. So you could use levers and stuff like that if you really wanted to. Minecart and hopper, some hoppers, some redstone torches, some repeaters, and then some comparators. You won't need many repeaters or comparators, but you will need at least one or two. So the next thing is to actually start the platform building. So we're going to go with a 10 by 10 square of stone bricks or building blocks. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we just want to make a square 10 by 10 basically. So let's do that without throwing everything around. Alright, so now we've got our 10 by 10 platform in, it's time to add some rails now. So to add the rails, we're basically going to go in a zigzag pattern. So it's going to go up one way and then down the other way and so on. So what we do is we add some rails here, like so. And then we weave it around this corner here, so it goes around like that. But the only problem you'll get is if when you come to this side again, it's going to connect, so you've got a circle. You don't want that to happen, so what you want to do is get rid of that rail there, place the rails like so, and then just continue placing the rails like this. It shouldn't happen again after that. It's just that first initial corner which it will happen with. So if you wanted to, you could add a powered rail there to stop that from happening, but either way it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another rail row like so, and then we're going to end this line here, and then we're going to add another line over the other side. So from here we're going around, zigzagging across like so, and then just when you hit that, get rid of that, add that, and then continue like so. And you want basically every block to be covered in rails. This is so that we can get some minecarts basically to go up and down these rails here. So we can do that and then zig around like so. I'm not quite in the middle, but I'm roughly in the middle, so it won't really matter too much. And then this too, obviously we want some powered rails there. So now it's time to actually add the powered rail. So we've got two here. So what we can do is just add some redstone blocks there underneath them if we wanted to, and then we can add a powered rail like that. And then we want to basically have a row of powered rails roughly in the middle of this. Because there's two blocks in the middle here, because it's 10 by 10, you can either get rid of these and just add some rails, or if you wanted to for aesthetics purposes you could use two, but I'm just going to use one row of redstone blocks just so that we can power these guys. And also you don't have to use redstone blocks to power them. You can use other means of powering it, like redstone torches. If we put a redstone torch under there, for example, I've got one in my hotbar. If we put a redstone torch there, that will power that block on the top. So if we then put powered rail there, it will power that. So it's either way, it doesn't really matter as long as the powered rails are powered, and then we can just add some powered rails on the top like so, and then add them back in. So on these corners here we also want a powered rail as well, but we don't want to power it at the moment. So then on each corner we have a powered rail like so. So to demonstrate this, what we have is, if we have a minecart and hopper on here, it won't move because that rail isn't powered. But if we then move it like so, come on, then it will go around, crisscrossing around until it meets this guy, this block here, and then it will bounce off and then go the other way. This is so that we can have this minecart and hopper pick up anything that's on the top of here. So then we just add a minecart and hopper there. so we have 2 of them instead of just the one, although you could just use the one if you want. So if you did just want to use one, you didn't really need that. We could just connect these together with some blocks and then just add it like so, so that you've only got one, and then we can get rid of, then if you wanted to, you could power that and then have a block on that side there, so that if we did have just one, then it will go crisscrossing like so. Alright, so now we've got our rails in, I'm just going to quickly change that back to how I had it originally. So we have some powered rails there and then a block like so, just so the minecart and hopper can bounce back. So now we've got our rails in, the next thing to do is to add the actual collection system so that the minecart and hopper can actually transfer the items into a chest. So the way we do that is we have a chest there, and then we have that going into a hopper like so. So this hopper is pointing into this chest here, which is where the output is going to actually be. And then after that we want to add a powered rail onto that hopper like so. Then what we want is to have a comparator output coming out of this hopper, leading into a block like so. Then from that block we want a redstone torch on the other side of that block like there. Then we add a block on top of that redstone torch, then a repeater facing this way into that hopper like so, and then we have a block next to that hopper, next to the repeater even, like so. So this is the collection system we have here. So any items that are on this, in this hopper, for example, let's say we have 64 repeaters for whatever reason going into this farm, minecart and hopper will stop here, transfer its items into this hopper. The items will then go from this hopper into this chest, as you can see here, and then once the items have left this hopper, so this hopper is completely empty, it should go back, which it does, and then it will keep doing that until it ends up with items, and then it will deposit them into this chest. And then from this chest what you can do is have some hoppers leading this way, for example, to wherever you want the items to go, like so. So all them items from that chest will go from these hoppers and to wherever they need to go, basically. So that is the connection system. So we need to basically build this little thing over onto the other corner as well. So let's do that. Alright, so we want a chest, then a hopper facing into that chest, then we want a powered rail on top of the hopper like so, then we want, getting confused, repeater, or comparator, sorry, a block, redstone torch, block on top of that redstone torch, then we want a repeater facing that way into the hopper, then a block again, and there we go, there we have it. So that is the collection system done. So I hope you guys can understand that and how to build it. If you don't, then put it down in the comments below and I will try and help you out with your queries. But that is essentially how it is. So now to actually build the farm. So what we want to do is we want to get some dirt out, and we want to cover all these rails with dirt. So from this point onwards we want a 10 by 10 square of dirt right under these rails. So I'll just build an outline like so, and then on the other side, and then we want to fill this whole thing in dirt. Alright, so we've got our dirt in now, so you should have something that looks similar to this. So we've got our minecarts on the bottom that are going backwards and forwards with the tracks on there, and then we have a block gap for the minecarts obviously, and then the dirt right on top of the actual minecart itself, or the minecart tracks. So now the next thing to do is to most likely add some pumpkins and melons to this so that they can grow. So I'm going to get a diamond hoe out and some seeds. Alright, so the next thing we do is we want to hoe this land but we also need to hydrate it as well. So to hydrate this, we want to get some stairs out, and we want to add some stairs roughly there. It doesn't have to be exact, so 3 from here and 3 from there, and then we do that on the other corner as well. So that's 3, so it'd be about there, and then the same on the other side as well. So it's 3, so about there and there. If you wanted to, you could probably get away with less water sources than this, in all fairness, but that should be enough to actually hydrate all of this farmland, or that's going to be turned into farmland. So we fill these stairs with water because we can waterlog stairs now, so we don't have to worry about having a dip under here. Just be careful that you don't actually get rid of the blocks around here, because otherwise you're going to have water that pours all over your tracks, and then you're going to have to rebuild it. So just be careful with that. So now we've got the water in to hydrate the farmland, we actually need to create the farmland. So to create farmland, we want to go into a checkered board pattern with farmland. So we hoe 1 piece of dirt, leave a block, hoe, leave a block, and hoe, and then so on and so forth. And you want to do this across all of this land, all of the dirt even. So let's just do that quickly. Right, so once you've hoed this land, you should have something that looks similar to this. So if you want to just double check and make sure that you've got all this farmland done correctly, then be sure to do so. So the next thing we want to do is actually add our plants. So how we do that is we want to add a row of melons on this side here, or seeds shall I say, and then a row of pumpkins on the other side, like so. So we're alternating the rows with melons and pumpkins. Alright, so now we've got all our seedlings in now. They should grow up pretty soon, but if you wanted to, you could always bone meal these, but I'm not going to, because sometimes it can be a real pain to move around. Alright, so now we've got our melons and pumpkins in. They should grow up nicely, but it will take a while sometimes. So what we want to do is we want to add the system that's going to actually get rid of the pumpkins and melons to collect. So how we do that is we go 2 blocks up from there, and then what we want to do is basically add a roof onto this. So a 10 by 10 roof, exactly dimensions of the dirt we've got on the bottom, like this basically. So I'll add this and come back to you in a minute. I've just gone over then. Alright, so now we've got the roof in, we should have something that looks like that. So just remember to have a 2 block gap from the dirt to the actual roof, and you should be okay. So now it's time to add some pistons. So we add the pistons directly above the block that hasn't got anything on it. So not the farmland, but the dirt block itself. And we just add pistons on the top of this roof like so, and that's the only reason we added this roof, to be fair with you. So it's easy to add these pistons. So if we get in here, we can add these pistons like so. So it's basically the opposite direction from the farmland. You might have a bit of an annoying task placing these pistons. Sometimes you get that, so you really want to try and get to the corner, but it should be doable. It's just a bit of an annoying task, I'm not going to lie. So we want to add the pistons going all along the top of here like so. So let's do that, and I'll show you what I've got. Alright, so now we've got our pistons in, we should have something that looks similar to this, although we have a load of melon and pumpkins growing already, so that's all good. So it might be a good idea to add some light to this as well, just so that it increases the rate of actual growing a melon and pumpkin. So I'm just going to add some light sources along the edge of these farm like so. So if we just add some light sources there, you can use any kind of light source really, like sea lanterns, glowstone, or even the new lanterns as well will probably work. So now we've got our light in, the only thing we need to do now is find a way of powering these pistons. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to be using some detect rails, some powered rails, and also some normal rails. So how we power these pistons is if we place a detect rail on top of the block where the piston is, like that, that will actually power this piston like so. So what we want to do is we want to alternate the detector rail with the powered rail. So we have a detector rail, then a powered rail, then a detector rail, powered rail, detector, power, detector, power, detector, and then power. And then once you reach this side like so, we add a row of blocks like this, and then we want to curve that, so we use some normal rails, and then we just repeat. So instead of using a powered rail here, we use a repeater, a detector rail even, and then a powered rail, detector, powered, and then you want to repeat this basically all across this top here. So I'll do that and then I'll get back to you, but before we do that, we also want to just go here quickly, and then we want to add another row of blocks on this side like so, so that we can curve the rail there, and then we just repeat this. So let's do this top and then I'll show you what we've got. Alright, so we've got our rails in now, so we should have something that looks similar to this on the top with the checkered pattern of the powered rails and detector rails. So we just really want to cap this off now. So to do that, we want to actually have a powered rail there and actually power it. So let's just grab a lever for now, and then we want to power that rail there, and then we just want to add a block next to it like so to cap it off, and then the same in the other corner. So the idea of this is that if we have a minecart on the top of these tracks, it will go backwards and forwards, and then every time it goes above these detector rails, it will power this piston, and then whatever's grown underneath this piston will get dislodged and go into your collection system. So that's the idea of this farm, and this farm is pretty much complete now, to be fair. The only thing we want to do now is actually add our minecart. So if we add our minecart there, this will go backwards and forwards, powering all these pistons, so we can see underneath here that it's working and doing its job. And then the minecart and hopper will go around collecting whatever's on the top like so. And then this should be a lossless design, I think. Let's just make sure that is the case. So if that pumpkin and that melon gets picked up, it's a lossless design. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They have just been picked up right there. And yeah, this can be a bit of a noisy one, to be fair, but I quite like it. So, and that's been bud powered. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It shouldn't really do that. So to stop that, what we want to do is just go one block away and then power it like so. So if we just power that, that should stop it. Or we can even add a rail there even, and then that should stop whatever's bud powering that piston, so that we get another chance of that actually growing. So if we just power that lever again, or that powered rail even, then we can add a track, and that should be okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and now you should be able to make this Melon and Pumpkin farm all on your own. And I do believe that this Melon and Pumpkin farm does have quite a high yield as well, so you shouldn't go short on melon and pumpkins in your own worlds. So thank you very much for watching. My name is MightyHigh. If you like this video, then please click the like button, and if you really liked it, then click the subscribe button and ding that bell for further uploads. I've been MightyHigh, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye!